Hey, hello everyone. Welcome back to Falls Hillside Home. So the first time I originally done this intro for this part of the cabin porch build, I had the settings set wrong on my GoPro. I accidentally hit it to go to time lapse or something like that. It sped everything up, couldn't hear a word I was saying. Hey, but if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the like button if you like the video, leave me a nice comment below, and ring that notification bell if you want to see every time I post new videos. I want to keep them coming because I'm almost done with this this porch build. This I want to show you how I did the rafters, and yeah, we're going to go from there. So this is probably going to be a short video, and I'm going to have to redo the outro too. So it's raining. Oh man, it's been raining the past few days, so I'm not sure when this will come out, of course, but as soon as I get a nice day, I'm gonna have to get the purlins, put oil on them, you know, for preservation. And I already got the tin at this point. Just got to throw everything up there, so we are almost there. I just need a couple of days off from work, a couple of nice days without the rain, knock this out. But let me show you about the rafters on this video. Alright, so a lot of DIYers like myself might initially have trouble figuring out how you're going to cut these rafters to where they lie against the faceplate, and show you why you want to do that. You don't want to just set it up there without cutting it, because you see here, I can stick my finger all the way down through there. You don't want that gap, because up here you're going to miss that wood when you try to nail that in through the joist hanger. Down here at the bottom corner, that's the only part that's touching the faceplate right now. So all I want to do is get a perpendicular line going straight down, and I'm going to say perpendicular to the ground. And that way this right here is going to lie completely flat against the faceplate. So how would I do that? And I got to give Noah Bradley credit from Handmade Houses. He makes hand-hewn log homes. Showed me this in one of his videos. But if you just put a 2x4 right here, he calls it the almighty 2x4. If you put it up right here, you can take your pencil and mark that line, and then this is the line. I can take this to the chop saw, cut that off, and that's going to sit right flush against the faceplate, real nice. And I can do that with every single board without measuring each one of them. I can take this one and line it up with the other 2x4s and run them. It's going to be the exact same on every one of them. So I'll do that. And another thing I could show you, I wish I had that other 2x4. One thing you can do, and I'm not going to do it, you can do what's called a ledger board, which put a 2x4 down here and then one on top of this, or I guess you could use a 4x4. Or if you have something a little bit more solid already up here to nail your joist hangers to, which I didn't, so I put this plate up here. But you'd have another 2x4, and this joist hanger, this part here, would rest on that. So it gives a little bit more support for the rafter to hang on, if that makes sense. So I also have to cut this portion down here that's laying on that faceplate, because you want just a little bit of notch down there. Hopefully you can see that. Yeah, and then on the very end too, I want another perpendicular line on the end of that rafter, so it looks really nice. And same principle, just using a piece of wood like a 2x4. And for this, I'm actually going to use a little 1x3 that I had lying around, and I want to show you why. Okay, so the same principle works here. Same principle works here. And I have to deal with this part of the post too, so that's why I got one that's, you know, long enough. I can sit this straight on here, and actually I want to rest on the flat piece, right, just as much as possible. And then I can mark here, and come down here, and come down here. There's going to be like a little square piece that's notched out. That'll allow this to sit real nice on top of there. Now I'm going to put a couple of screws, one on each side, make sure that stays nice and tight. Now, don't want to do this part until you cut your rafter up there where it's going to lay against the faceplate, because when you do that, you're going to have to push your rafter up against the faceplate. So if I were to go ahead and mark this and cut it, this is not going to be lined up. It's going to be off, and I'd have to redo it. So you can do all these up here first, but since this is definitely out of alignment, see, I think you can see a lot better from up here how much that faceplate is out of line with each other. And again, it's not a big deal, but the one thing I have to keep in mind is I'm going to have to make each of these cuts individually, meaning I'm going to have to throw every rafter up there, mark it, instead of just using this one as a template. I'm going to throw every one up there and mark it, just so I'm sure I get the right cut. Now this one down here, I'm going to show you how to do that. I can do all those at the same time as well. This is the only one that I'm going to have to tailor for each specific location for that rafter. Okay, so you can use a 2x4 for this if you want to, if you just kind of want to eyeball it. But for me, my eyes plays tricks on me, and if you've seen this cabin in the video, you'll probably see what I'm talking about with, you know, one side of the porch looking higher than the other. Or just not, it's just the ground being unlevel, because I did not level it out. But I'm taking the level for this one, and I'm putting the edge right here on the corner. And then as long as this bubble is in the center, pretty much like it is now, it's not completely center. And see, like to me, it looks like this is at an angle. But what I want to do is go ahead and mark this here. It looks like I got a nice red mark on there. Now you can see this actually does look like it's going straight up and down, and that's going to look really nice whenever I'm actually sitting under the porch and looking at this thing. And I think I am going to have this much of an overhang. Maybe I won't need it, but I'll adjust and kind of figure that out. I want the rain not to hit the porch, so I want a nice overhang. We'll see if that's too much or not. I don't know. I'll just play it by ear. But first thing is we're going to cut that by the faceplate and then go from there. All right, now I got my marks here. I'm just going to take the sawzall and cut that out real quick. All right, now you can see the little notch that I made in there, and it's going to sit right on top of that faceplate. I'll show you that. All right, so that's exactly what I was going for there. So that notch is sitting real nice and level on there. You do that to every rafter. They're going to pretty much be real even as they go all the way across, and that tin's going to sit real nice and level all the way across when I put it up. So I will pre-drill some holes in here. I'll have to mark those too, pre-drill them, and put some screws in there. I think that'll be the best way to go. I'll play that by ear too and see. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and you know, use this one as a template, mark all of them with the exception of that last notch that I showed you, and go ahead and get those marked and cut up. All I got to do is come back and mark those other notches, you know, as you know, tailored to where they're going to sit, so they're notched where they're supposed to be. Now, one thing I didn't really explain earlier, and I didn't show you in detail, and I didn't bring my square up here, but I wanted to make sure that it was, you know, running square here. I do need this to be square. So you take like a speed square or any type of square and just, you know, put it up against here to make sure that, you know, it's sitting nice and square on there. You do want that to be, you know, pretty much square. You just want it to run straight out, right? And you can eyeball that for the most part, but this right here wouldn't be so good. It's way too far. But as long as you're flat up against there, you should be pretty fine. So that'll be, whenever I mount these, I'll nail those in first, and then I'll be able to come down and pretty much screw those into place. And I still got to determine if this is too much overhang or not. Some folks might say, oh, your overhang's supposed to be this, that, or whatever. But you know what? The good thing about this thing, it's my cabin. I'm gonna build it the way I want. All right, so here's your little break of cuteness here. There's Mama. There's all the little baby bunnies. And Mama's waiting for something to eat, so I'm gonna feed her real quick before I get back to the cabin build. But check them out. Look at that guy. Oh, these are very, very pretty bunnies. Love them, love them, love them. All right, let's get back to it. All right, so time to wrap this video up. Let me show you what it looks like now that the rafters are finally up. I am pretty happy with that. It is looking like it is almost finished. And like I said, all we've got left to do now is put up the purlins and put up the tin. But I'm really liking how this is looking. As you can see, I already got the tin down there. It's going to be that barn red color. The gray piece is just a piece to protect from where they shipped it all over here. I had it delivered this morning. But yeah, so there you go. We are almost done. Soon I'll be drinking coffee under the porch pretty soon. Very excited about that. I can sit out here when it rains and even sleep out here, put my thermocell on and protect me from the mosquitoes. Even sleep out here if I want to. Pretty excited about that. And yeah, I'm going to show you guys videos of what that looks like, me just enjoying my porch. I'll get some decorations up here too. That'll come a time. I want to get the old like whiskey barrel put out here, kind of like how Cracker Barrel used to have, with the big checkerboard across, a couple of rocking chairs. I think that'd be pretty nice up here. I'll probably put my cook stove up here too, my little camp stove, so I can cook out of the weather. If it rains, it's not going to get rained on. I can set up something a little bit more permanent to cook out here. So I'm really looking forward to that. Hey, so for your encouragement for this video, I want to share with you Proverbs 18:22, and kind of build off of what we've been talking about the last few videos, concerning the heart, concerning love, things of that nature. Proverbs 18:22 says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. And I've shared with you guys before, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I am divorced. I was homeless for a little bit, just due to those circumstances in San Diego. Yeah, don't ever get divorced in California. It's rough, it's expensive. But anyway, I'm not against marriage or anything like that. I still believe in it, all that good thing. But previously we talked about, how you gotta be careful about your heart, right? There's a lot of country songs out there, or not just country songs, just love songs all together, and they all got it wrong. I think even Elvis probably has one like, falling in love, following your heart. We talked about how dangerous that is to follow your heart, because your heart is full of deceit and things like that. Who can understand it? Also, you got to guard your heart. So maybe following your heart's not the best thing. Think logically for one, and then what does the Word of God say, for those of us that are men and women of faith. Now, like if you're not a Christian, you have no obligation to live by what I'm saying, but it's still good advice. It's still sound advice. So you hear a lot about falling in love. It's like, how do you know if you fall in love? My question is, can you fall in love? And, I know that you can fall in the ditch, you can fall in a river, you can fall off a cliff, and all three of those are not really pleasant. I fell in Tellico River. It's more like a creek. You've probably seen that fishing video I did. That was obviously kind of fun, but it was dangerous. I could have got hurt. But most of the time, falling off a cliff or falling off or falling in a ditch or into a river, something like that, it's not pleasant. It's not pleasant at all. So you gotta be careful with your emotions, guys. You really do. Love involves emotion, but again, we talked about in one of the last videos how love is the selfless act of meeting someone else's needs without expecting anything else in return. That's what love is. If you look what Jesus Christ did for us on the cross, there's nothing we can really do for him, I do think he enjoys our fellowship and things like that, but he needs absolutely nothing from us. He did what he did purely because he loved us. And the only way that we can love somebody is because first he loved us. That's the only way it works, you know. So anyway, I want you to kind of, you know, think about that. Just be careful with your emotions, because, you know, it really doesn't matter if it's a romantic relationship, or, again, you know, like I mentioned before, relationship, or maybe your brother, your sister, family member, friend. Things are going to happen. Sometimes it's not easy being somebody's friend, or it's not easy loving somebody, but that's when love really kicks in. You know, it's sticking through it when it gets really hard. It's easy to love somebody when everything's going great, right? You know, and also if the Bible tells us that we should you know, love those that hate us and pray for our enemies. You know, if we have a spat with our wife, or with our husband, or family member, friend, you know, we should definitely still love them, even though, you know, things get rough there for a little bit. So hey guys, that's my message to you. Let me know what you think in the comments about the cabin build, you know, about that little message of encouragement. If you got any questions, please drop them. I'd love to, you know, have that conversation with you guys. Anyway, love y'all, and I'll see you in the next video. God bless. Yep, love is a choice.